Hi everyone, it's Diane. I'm back. Welcome, welcome. How are ya? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm so glad you came back to have a little bit of fun. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here as well. And if you're not used to what I've been working on, I'm actually doing a project that I've called Stamping A to Z, where I'm trying to use a lot of my stamp sets that I've had. I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I acquired a lot of stamp sets through there. Turn my phone off because I'm sure somebody will call me in the middle of this. But I also have a lot of other stamp sets and products and stuff that I have acquired over the years, probably like you, and my stash is quite hefty, so I'm trying to use this stuff up. And so we started at the beginning of the alphabet and the end of the alphabet and kind of working my way towards the middle. We are at the beginning, we're at birds and branches. And I just found a piece of this, which is good because my birds and branches didn't have one over it and it kept sticking inside my case. Yay. And I have a few ideas on what I want to do, but I'm not really sure. And you know, that always leads to trouble, or sometimes just a super long video, so I'll try not to. This also had a coordinating die set. Birds and More dies, and they're really pretty because I actually, when I was digging the die set out for this, I found a doily die set, and I was thinking, oh, I should cut a doily out to put behind it. But then it already had this with it, this little wreathy thing, so I didn't cut the doily out. This is pretty, very pretty. So I don't know if we'll use that or not. I thought I would use the nest. And I did already take this really pretty leafy branch. This is a nice die. And I cut out a couple of branches from some Evening Evergreen, and this was a cotton paper that Stampin' Up! Had at one time. I mean, you can use regular cardstock or whatever. I'm using this because it's here. You know, use her up. In the same sense, I would like to use, I have this Cork paper that they had. Actually, I have a couple packs of this yet, but I love it. It's so soft and it just looks so pretty. But if you don't have something like this Cork paper, maybe you have a wood grain or a bark embossing folder. Put this paper back in here. I did already cut a piece out. I had, what is mine? Mine is Timber 3D embossing folder. And it does make a wood grain emboss. You could do this on your cardstock. Just for fun, I used my embossing folder and I tried a couple different things. I used some, this is just white cardstock with a wild wheat ink. And I took my ink pad and just sort of layered it across the embossing folder, put my paper in there and ran it through my embossing machine. And it did give this really nice texture. I didn't know if I liked the wild wheat color. It seems a little yellowish green to me. So I don't know if that's what I would want to use on this one. So I tried another one with Crumbcake paper and Crumbcake ink, because how can you ever go wrong with Crumbcake, except I did leave a swoopy mark there. This is really pretty. I do like this one. And this would be a good one to put a bird in front of, I think. I feel like it would be anyway. These are a couple of birds that I had in the case that I had previously cut out. And it looks like Maybe that was just some spray dyes I had used. They look a little shimmery, but they're pretty. So anyways, I just laid those there. So you could do something like this with your cardstock. Just emboss it. Maybe add some ink. You could emboss your cardstock plain and then use your ink pad over it, or you know, my favorite, my blending brushes. You can always lightly go over your embossed paper and it will highlight or emphasize those embossed areas of your cardstock. So there are some options there for you if you don't have something like that cork paper. I'm going to stick that up there so I don't lose it, and we'll set these aside. Now, because I do stuff like this and then I keep them, I ended up with a stack which is handy until I end up with this huge stack. These are all papers that we've done different things with. This was some embossing paste. This is a Tim Holtz die I did on some copper paper. This is the Hive die, I believe, or Hive embossing folder. This one is stone. I have music. I have all kinds of stuff here that extras. So I was going through here because if you remember, I cut some leaves out of some of my old watercolor scrappy paper. I was going through here trying to find some that might work to die cut the birdies out of. And we might stamp them and then die cut them. I don't know. And I found a couple pieces. So let's see what we can make out of all of this stuff. Do you end up like that? Do you have a big stash of bits and pieces? I don't want to throw them away. I mean, geez, I made them. So I have those little branches cut out. Now this also has a branch and some leaves that you could stamp. And if you line them up just right, I would imagine that the die, well, maybe not. It doesn't really follow that pattern. But you could stamp behind it and then cut one of these out. Make it a whole tree from the looks of it. That might be fun for Halloween. I might have used that for Halloween before. I don't know. So let's make a bird first of all. I know I have my branches. Oh, and here's my little cork paper that I cut. I don't know if I'm going to use that on a green card base. That might look prettier because of the branches. Or on a brown card base. I guess it's going to depend on how my birds turn out. You know, I don't want to get too many colors in here, so I don't really want to make it into a rainbow. The only problem with that cotton paper is it's really delicate, so I don't want to tear it. Where am I going to put that so I don't rip it? All right, birdies. Birdies, birdies. Look at these cute little birds. So we have an outline of a bird, and we have a bird fill. Now, of course, I don't know if I need the fill because I have my background paper. But we'll try them. And there are some wing stamps. We can cut the wings out and then maybe use a dimensional behind them to make them pop up a little bit. So what do you think? We need that's a little too green, huh? Yeah, it looks more oceany. I thought this was Brusho's. We had done some Brusho practice papers at one time, but I thought the browns and the little bit of red, I might be able to get a cute bird out of there. Let's give it a try. It's not going to hurt, right? I mean, the paper's just sitting here. Oh, where's my stamp pad? Oh, I think I had it on the other side. I was poking holes the other day. Did I put it back? I know I was poking holes. There it is. Right. We'll move these dies aside. This is another pretty part of that die set too. This cuts a nice border. But I don't think I'm going to need that since I'm using that cork paper. Sorry if you can hear my tummy growling. My goodness, I'm not even really hungry. Oh, let's see. Let's make you with a little bit of a red belly. Yeah, so another busy weekend we had. Oh, our poor old girl. She's going on 15, and she's already had a couple cancer surgeries, and she's unfortunately going to have another one tomorrow. Those might be pretty birds, huh? Let's get that lighter belly right there. So she's downstairs resting right now. I don't think I will use the fill birds on these because then it's going to cover up all of my pretty background. But I'll show you how we do one. But I went yesterday, I met a couple of my friends, and we went to see a local performance of Pippin. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. Those people are so talented, you know? Okay, so if you're not going to have a scrappy paper like this, I don't think I want to make a purple bird. The blue one would be cute. Oh. I should probably do that in blue then. How about just in a night of navy, a nice navy background? That would be pretty. I guess I should have dried that off a little better. It's kind of wet. I have everything wet because I was cleaning that embossing folder when I was done smearing ink all over it. Oh, that'd be pretty. Does that show up on, can you see it? And you know what? There's a little bit of orange tint down here. Maybe. I don't know if we're going to have bluebirds or little wrens. In my yard, we have little wrens everywhere. They're very loud, actually. And I have this app that will tell you what the birds are in your yard by the sound. And it says that they're California wrens. So I don't know how those are different than house wrens around this area, but they come every year and build a nest in my little birdhouse. Okay, so if you don't have paper like this, let's make one just on white paper. Just take some white cardstock. We'll do an outline or a detailed stamp of a birdie. And then, I'm not going to cut all of those out. I want to make you wait through all that. My goodness, that'll take forever. And then we have the fill stamp. And I think because I'm doing this all in blue, I would stamp it off one time and then line it up over top of our stamped image and give them a little bit of color, and it fills it in pretty nice, actually. Very pretty. This was a nice set. I know I've used this quite a bit. This isn't one that got ignored, as some of them do, which is what prompted this whole project in the first place. My poor ignored stamp sets that are brand new in packages and already retired, and we can't get them anymore. I have a friend who wants to make some Christmas cards for people that she works with. And so she had looked through some of my photos of cards and decided on playful penguins. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep all my stuff back in its cases so I don't lose it. And so I had to go dig it out because, excuse me, that's one that I actually had set over in my bin to sell. I was like, oh, I better go grab that. All right, now I got to think for 1 minute because, oh, there it is. This has 2 dies. This has just an outline die, and it has this little stencil-y die, which cuts all these little bits and pieces out of the birds. Because we've stamped them and I want the background paper, I just want the outline dies. Oh, look, it looks like they're kissing. Little kissy birds. I had, I got them too close. I'm going to be able to do one at a time. Oh, no, do 2 at a time. When we had our class party 2 weekends ago here, I won a little, we had a like a basket raffle, trying to raise money for our 50th class reunion. So I had won this little trivet type farmhouse 2-tiered tray. I don't even know what it's called. Those are really cute. And but I already have a centerpiece on my table right now for autumn. So I didn't know for sure what I was going to do with it. And so I brought it up to my craft room, which is always a mistake. This is like the black hole. You know, stuff comes up here and never see it again. If I can find it anyway. So I brought it up and I was like, oh, that would be kind of handy to put my little bottles of inks in. And so there it is. It's all filled up. Has all my little spray bottles. See, the die moved. I think I need to take that old tape off. So my shelf is a little bit neater looking. And I was trying to clean up here anyway, so I'm at a point where I can't move. I can't find what I want. Why does that keep moving off of there? Am I using the magnetic form? I am. That's why. Let's give it a little go around here. Oh, come back. See? It pulls my dies around. It's handy, but I'm going to switch pretty soon if you keep moving. Don't stay where I put you. Oh, it is. Darn it. Keeps moving. It's not usually the one that I have over here. I had taken everything down with for the card class the one day. Let's try this again. Come here, little birds. This one works just as well. My plates are pretty scratched up, but I do have, actually, I have some newer ones that don't have scratches in them. I like to save those for like foil papers or, so sorry for the shaky. we have lots of, we're going to have tons of birds. Okay, so those are our bluebirds. Let's see. Let's get a couple wrens. You hear tractors going. We were having some rain, so I think people were trying to get their last little bit of mowing and leaf mulching, and while the weather is halfway decent. I know hubby's working on trying to clean her fireplace chimney so that it'll be ready to go. You know the weather's going to go south on us, right? Or should I say north? Did I only have the two? I did. Well, I may as well cut them out then. And then I have a selection of birdies. In my stamp case for this set, I have a selection of branches and leaves that looks like I had cut a bunch out from, I think it was Love of Leaves. Another pretty set. Lots of berries and leaves and stuff in that one. That's not until the L's. I don't know when we'll ever get that far. All right. Lots of birds to pick from here. And we still have a few little scrappy papers left. I guess I could cut that one out of white, but I don't need him right now, so. Let me see. Shall we cut that out of something? I think that cotton paper would be too flimsy. So let's just use this green and cut a wreath out of that. I don't know. Like I said, if we're going to make a wreath, or I mean a nest, we might not need the wreathy part, but it doesn't hurt to have options. That's how I end up with so much stuff sitting around. Oh, look what that did. I thought I was cutting a wreath out. Well, that puts a new spin on that piece of cardstock, doesn't it? I don't think we're going to fit a nest in that anyway. I put that magnetic plate. I wanted to get that out of the way so I don't trip on it and kill myself. Does come in handy having a couple of die cut machines when you have a big group of people, but oh, we need to stamp a wreath then if we're going to make a wreath. So I seem to be using early espresso with my green. It's kind of a big stamperoo. And how about I don't have any Crumbcake cut over here or scrappies. I apologize. I should have probably had that ready. I did have the Crumbcake paper out. Get a stamp a nest. This must be bird day. And I was pulling out my scraps over there. I have kind of have a little empty space right there. Let's try that again. Oh, I have an empty space there. What am I doing? What did I pull out? Oh, I pulled out, I had stamped these. Aren't those cute? I had 2 of those up in my little extra bits bin. A bin. I need to just let it sit there for a second and soak in there. Oh, see, I still have a little bit of missing ink up there. But I think we're going to go with it anyway. Let's sit here and stamp nests all day long. I want to things to do. Nesty back in there. This also had stamps to stamp the bird's feet and beaks, and like I said, the wings, little flowers, eggs. I wonder what that's. Oh, those are his little feet. We're not going to get into that much detail. No. Not today. And I'm waiting too. I think I should probably be hearing from the one ladies organization. They get together and make Christmas cards every year too. They usually get a hold of me around October-ish. Oops. Don't go too far there, little nest. So I gotta think up with some cute card ideas for them. Oh my goodness, sorry. I just gave you a concussion. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that didn't really cut a wreath out, did it? And you know, I think I have a bunch of these, so obviously I've used this wreath before. I should have known that. Oh, well. Sometimes we forget. That is pretty. I'll probably cut that and use this on the front of another card after I get all the little paper bits off, because that is pretty. It'd be pretty to put like a vellum behind it maybe and set the little birds inside. Yeah. Another idea. Okay. All right, so I have my cork paper and my little leafy branches that I'm trying desperately not to tear. They don't slide around on that cork paper very well. I think I want one to go up a little higher. Ooh, I don't even think these have sentiments in this set. So I have to find something to put on here. I have, I know, I have some new neighbors coming. If we do something like that. And, oh, the reddish one looks pretty, huh? He's pretty dark in the face. That one's pretty dark in the face. That one's not too bad. That one's nice. cute. I'm going with it. All right. And then, what was that other bird one that we had? Because I know it had a welcome. Oh, look it. I was looking for this too. Here's another thing you could use if you don't have like a cork paper. This is a birch. I forgot. If you have a background stamp, just stamp your paper. Excuse me, with a different brown. Actually, that's our next one up in line. We're not going to need that though, because we're doing a birchy one right now. Oh, I want to welcome. Oh, we might have to get this together. And what was the name of that? Had oh. Doggone it. It came out with the sorbet color because I went to get some more sorbet paper and it was out of stock. It's a nice color for Christmas. It's not really, really red. It's pretty. Sweet sorbet. Oh, shoot. Sweet Songbirds. Is that what it's called? Sweet. P-Q-R-S. Why is there an H over here? Doesn't go there. Sweet swirl, swirly bird. No. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to just add a greeting to this later because I'm not seeing a welcome and I want to make a welcome card. Oh, that is what it is. Sweet Songbirds. And I knew it had a welcome. So happy you're here. I like that. Okay. All right. Ready to go. Sorry. Okay, do we want to put that on the green? Probably can't even tell the difference on camera. Or the brown. Maybe the brown. All right. Okay. So let's get the little branches put on here first. You are the two birds I'm going to use. How do I want to adhere these little cottony papers? Because they're very delicate. Just some little dabs of glue. Little dabs, you know what that means. They're going to come out in these big old splashy things. Alright, let's just use a scrap paper. I was trying to find my silicone mat to glue on so I didn't get glue everywhere, but that's not going to happen. And I don't even know. Oh my goodness, we're at a half hour. 34 minutes. Such a slow poke today. Well, we did have to go to the vet first thing this morning and take Cammie down there and have them take a peek at her boo-boo and see what they were going to suggest. So that kind of, hubby came home from work for a little bit to help me get her in the car. She's a big girl. I can't really pick her up by myself. Not the whole way. I'll move up in just a second. I'm all gluey. Hoping my nest is going to take up some of that spot because I got that a little higher than I planned. I think I can do it. goodness, this dries clear. For little things like that, I don't really like to use Tombow too much because if you get glue that smears outside of your little die cuts, Tombow stays kind of sticky. Well, I guess I'm going to have to stamp some feet on that little guy, huh? Yeah. He can't just be kind of sitting on his belly. This one's a little different because he's in the nest. And I think I'll put some dimensionals on the back of that. Just to make the birdie sitting in the nest a little bit better. Those are sticky. Okay. We could put him there. I'm going to have this tail outside and have the bird on the inside. I think I'll need to put maybe some foam dimensional behind his body and then just some glue on his tail. Just to help hold him in place. Well, that looks like I did that on shimmery white. Oh, I probably did with the Brushos. You can see the shimmer in there, in that paper. Okay, now let's get all these other little birdies and put them in their home for now. You guys are going to go away for now. We'll use you. I'm sure we will. They're pretty little birds. I think we have a die to cut his little feet out. So I can stamp just his feet and cut them out so he could be sitting on a little branch. Where did I put all that paper that I'm stamping the bodies out of? Oh, come here. My little stack of scrappies. Anything will probably work. Right in there will work. Okay. Teeny tiny, right? Okay. Don't want to lose those little puppies. Those are small. Yep. Oh, you're so heavy. Oh, this is a magnetic one again. Well, hopefully it won't struggle with me too much just to cut out some little feet. It might, you never know. They're so little. Oh, baby toes. All that for some little tootsies. He just looked kind of silly hanging there in the branch though, so it wasn't going to work. Put that die back on my magnet. I do have magnetic sheets that I put these on. Of course, once you start throwing them in here real sloppy like I've done with this today, doesn't do much good, but it does help me keep my dies in order so that when I'm putting things away, and I do count them, I tend to count the Stampin' Up! Die sets tell you how many stamps or how many dies. It says I have 16. So before I put this back on my shelf, I'll count and make sure that I have all 16, because when I'm throwing them around all over like this, you just never know what you're going to end up with in the end, right? Okay, so let's give him some little tootsies down here to sit on his branch. Just put this behind his body. Come here. I'm glad I did that in brown. That's going to kind of just blend in with the backgroundy things. Maybe like up here. Down here is too close to his little friend. Yeah, I think up on that one, huh? Should I put him on dimensionals? Pop it up a little bit too? Maybe? I think I'll put one over his, where I glued his tootsies on there to make sure they stay. Let's get a mini one for around the tail. And actually, I think I will cut a mini in half to put one on his tail. I could put the other one on his little toes down there. Or I guess that's his tail. From back here it looks like his toes. But it's not. There you go, little friend. Aww. Yeah, our neighbor's house had been, our poor neighbor, he was elderly and was put into a assisted living. And so his house went up for sale here only really a couple months ago. And my husband's like, oh, we should look at that for our oldest son. You know. And my son was like, no. I love you guys, but 2 houses away is a little too close. And then when we looked at it, he was looking for something with some more property anyway because of his big pups. He wants to have room for them to run around and stuff. So, but the people who bought it, we actually know them. So, excuse me. I'm very happy for them. They're younger. You know, we talked about our neighborhood here, the cycle of life. It's kind of strange because when we first bought our house, excuse me. No, my cold's not gone all the way. Anyway, when we first bought our house, we were the youngins out here. And when we had our children, They were about the only small kids that we had in the area. You know, when they wanted to find their friends to play with, they had to go down the road or over on the next block or something. Really didn't have a lot of little kids around. Well, as time has gone on, we've had younger families move in the area. Little kids. My kids now are grown and gone. Well, kind of gone. Till he gets his house sold, he's here. But for the most part, you know, he's on his own. And and so now having these folks move in, and they have a new little baby. Oh, I'm looking for a little piece of, I think vanilla cardstock will look better on here than a bright white. Yeah, so we're going to have a little baby up there. I mean, unless anything falls through, I'm kind of excited to have a little baby in the neighborhood. Okay. Put my welcome back. And this was another set, Sweet Songbirds. Actually has a little nest and feet and all kinds of stuff too. And we have to cut that out now. What are we going to cut that with? Where's my die set? Not anything from there. Not going to happen. Oh, now you got to bear with me for a minute until I get a label. Oh. And here are my little dies. What do we have? That's too big. I don't need a humongous one. It's going to be better if I look at them. Sometimes it's better if I look at the name of the dies. This is many messages. It's stamped out a whole bunch of messages, and then you could get this die. But this comes in handy because, like right now, I don't want a big one. I don't want a big label. I just want something small. And so I can use this and layer over it until I find one. Like even that is good right there, I guess. Or that little square one, or rectangle one. That's cute too. Well, I might go with that one. Kind of fits well with the little nest. So remember, you know, you don't always have to use your stamps and dies exactly as what they were made for. You mix them up. Use them. Use your stuff. Let's try to make it a little bit straight. Good, good, good. Of course, if you don't have dies, you can just cut your little, oh look, I got a heart in the deal with that one. You can always just use your trimmer or your little craft knife. Cut a rectangle. Okay. I think I'll glue that flat. I think the birdies are enough dimension on here. Welcome. to the neighborhood. Yeah, I like it. I'm happy with that. So, there we have birds and branches. And we used birds and more dies that coordinate with a lot of them. So don't be surprised one day if you see another card pop up here with this little wreath on the front of it, because I like that idea. I might do one now that I have all these extra birds cut out anyway. Hope you enjoyed that, and you'll go make a card, pull some of your supplies out that you haven't used for a while, and make sure once you make that card that you send it. I have to go get my sister's birthday card in the mail as we speak. So everybody have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time. Bye.